Today, we're gonna be doing a deep dive on this $550 Schwinn Axum Comp X, and by the end of the video, you're gonna know if this bike is capable of handling proper mountain bike trails, or if it should stick to the pavement. The Schwinn Axum Comp X is a bike that you can pick up at Walmart, but at that price, should you? So, just a quick disclaimer, this bike was sent to me so I could actually give my honest thoughts and opinions and make a video about it. It was sent to me free of charge, but no money exchanged hands, so all thoughts are going to be my own. So one thing that's actually quite surprising about this bike is the fact that it is a 29er and it's actually rolling on 2.6-inch tires. Now, the tires are a lot better than I actually expected. The compound is hard and it's not super soft, but it's not super hard either. And what I can say about it is that it does grip decently well, but they are really fast. Now, the bike weighs in at 37 pounds, which for a hardtail is really heavy. Although, I guess it's not terrible considering it's a $550 bike from Walmart. So I did go with the size large frame, and this is an aluminum frame. And some of the best parts about this is the fact that they are actually gonna be doing it in two sizes. You can get it in either a medium or a large. And real quick, it does have a tapered head tube, but it does have quick release wheels. Now, let's dive into the geo just a little bit. Now, the head tube angle on this thing is 67 degrees, and that does make climbing really nice. Descending is questionable. It could be worse though. We could be with like a 70-degree head tube, which would be really good for climbing and really bad for descending. Now, something that is nice to see is it does have a really steep seat tube angle. This actually comes in at 75 degrees. That's actually really nice and a lot steeper than some of the other bikes that I have. That seat tube being so steep is actually making it really easy to climb with this bike. And we're gonna get into a little bit of a deep dive on how well this bike climbs. The reach on this one is 469 millimeters, which is actually longer than some of my other bikes as well. So they have a lot of good things going for this bike. You have the tapered head tube, you have a 67-degree head tube and a 75-degree seat tube angle, and a pretty good reach. Now, let's check out the components. First off, let's check out this drivetrain. Now, I gotta give credit where credit's due. They put on a really nice budget entry-level drivetrain on this thing. This is the Microshift Acolyte 8-speed. And what's nice about it is that it actually has a 12 to 42 tooth cassette, and like I said, 8 speeds. You know, one plus side to this drivetrain also is the fact that it does actually have a built-in clutch, which is something super nice to see. So as you can see, if I turn the clutch off, it would just be flopping that chain all over the place, and you'd be dropping chains left and right. But because we have the clutch, it actually does help a lot. It does have a 30-tooth chainring up front, which is gonna make it a little bit easier to climb. And that really pairs well nice with that 42-tooth in the back. So I found that with that drivetrain, this thing actually climbs really well. And that's really surprising to me because with that weight, I expected this thing to climb terrible. I can't believe this, but there was a segment out where I rode with my buddy Luis out in San Diego, where I got a top 10% on a really nasty climb out of like 3,400 people. That's crazy on this bike. So now, this drivetrain is not perfect. It does shift fairly well, but what I will say is it is a little slow to shift sometimes. And I think that's just, I'm expecting it to shift faster because I'm used to like electronic shifting or just really nicer higher end drivetrains. But this works, and it works decently well, and I think that's all you can really ask from it. So get this. This $550 Walmart bike from Schwinn comes stock with a dropper post. Now, it is 125 millimeters of drop, which isn't huge, but it's got a dropper post from the factory. That's awesome to see. That means they're taking mountain biking semi-serious here and actually putting on stuff that matters. All right, so now the two weakest parts about this whole bike. First off is this fork. It's nice that it does have a suspension fork. The problem is that it is a coil, very inexpensive. And the problem with that is the fact that it is incredibly heavy. I will have to say, this is probably a 7 to an 8 pound fork. When I did my upgrade video on the Poseidon Norton and it had a similar kind of SR Suntour coil fork, that thing came in at like 8 pounds at least. And I'm willing to bet that this is about the same. And the same problem I had with that one that I have on this one is the fact that you don't get to use all of the 100 millimeters of travel because it is a coil fork. It actually takes quite a lot of effort to actually move through that spring. And I think realistically, on this whole thing, I've only gotten to about here on some really chunky terrain. And to get to that rest of the bit is probably something I wouldn't want to do on this kind of bike. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a bad fork. It's just not a great fork, and it's just not something that I'm used to. And I kind of always have to take that into consideration when I take a look at these more budget-friendly bikes. You could replace this fork with, say, a Bucklos Lutu, which I've done a video on. You can see that right up here. Or you could actually put on a proper air fork, like a RockShox TK or TL Silver. I'm not entirely sure what the exactly name is. I'll put a link down to one down below, and you can check that out. It's gonna be probably about double the price as the Bucklos, but it is a proper air fork. It's gonna be a lot better than, say, this or, say, the Bucklos. Now, let's talk about the other kind of bad thing about this bike. Let's move up. The other issue that I have is with the brakes. This does have disc brakes. The only problem I have with it is the fact that they're mechanical disc brakes, and I'm so used to hydraulic disc brakes that they're just leagues better than mechanical disc brakes. Now, what's nice is that they do actually have a 180 millimeter rotor up front and a 160 millimeter rotor in the rear. And that's exactly what you want for a mountain bike like this. You want the larger rotors and the bigger one in the front and the smaller one in the rear. Now, like I said, my only issue with these is the fact that they are mechanical disc brakes. Basically, the difference with that is the fact that the stopping power on these is so far less than, say, hydraulic disc brakes. With these, you really have to pull on the lever to stop. And they don't stop you nearly as well as, say, hydraulic disc brakes. That's really my only complaint with them. I would have liked maybe seen some June Tech, their hybrid brakes. So they actually have a mechanical pull, but the actual pistons themselves are hydraulic. The first time I actually used and saw those were on the Poseidon Norton that I reviewed, and they are way better than these brakes, and they probably don't cost that much more. Now, if you are to upgrade these brakes in the future, definitely look at like some Shimano MT530s. I think that's the right one. They're super inexpensive, especially if you can pick them up used, and they are leagues better than any mechanical disc brake. They're way better. So check those out. Now, something that they did do right is that they have lock-on grips. That is awesome. And these grips are actually not bad. I actually found that I like these. They're great without gloves. They're great with gloves, especially hand-up gloves. Link down below. Now, another positive here is the fact that this seat surprised me. It is decently comfortable. Now, I made sure when I went riding that I did not use a chamois because I wanted to kind of relate to a new rider who's not even gonna know what a chamois is. So I did some rides on this with no chamois, and you know what? It wasn't bad. It was actually pretty comfortable. Okay, so who is this bike for? Well, this bike is gonna be for that rider who is just starting out, who's maybe looking to get into mountain biking and doesn't wanna spend a bunch of money. Now, this could be someone who, like I said, who's just getting into the sport. Maybe it's a young teenager, a younger kid who wants to get their first mountain bike. This is not a bad option. Now, there are better options if you can spend a little bit more, but at that $550 price point, it's hard to kind of beat this bike. You've got a dropper post right out the gate, And to put a dropper post on a bike like this, you're looking at, well, about $100 and up to get a decent dropper post. Now, some things you are gonna wanna upgrade on this bike is gonna be the brakes. The brakes are a kind of like a safety thing. You really wanna have nicer brakes. So definitely take a look at, try to get some like Shimano MT 530s. They're not terribly expensive, especially on the used market. Next up, try to go tubeless with your tires. These stock tires are not tubeless compatible, so you are not going to be able to put these as a tubeless conversion. Now, to go tubeless, it's rather simple. Get some tubeless tires, get some tape, and get a valve stem to put into your rim. That's pretty much it. There's a tons of videos out there to follow where they can show you how to do it. It's really easy. Next up, as an upgrade, you're definitely going to look at replacing that front fork with an air fork. Like I said, look at the RockShox TK Silver, something like that. Just a very inexpensive, even used, nicer fork is going to do wonders on this bike. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, like, why would you upgrade a bike that just is so inexpensive? Why don't you just pay more for a nicer bike later on down the line? Well, quite honestly, you can get a lot more for your money by upgrading a bike. Now, I wouldn't recommend getting a new wheel set for this bike just because it still uses quick release axles. If it used through axles, it would have been so much nicer. But because it is quick release, don't worry about upgrading the wheels on this. I'm actually kind of surprised. One of my favorite parts about this bike has actually been the kickstand. Nice bikes don't have kickstands. I'm actually kind of digging it. It was actually kind of nice to have, especially when trying to get some of the B-roll shots for this. The drivetrain, I wouldn't mess with the drivetrain. I think it's fine. It's 8-speed, sure, it's not 12-speed, but it does have a fairly wide range cassette on there, plus the 30-tooth chainring. This thing climbs tremendously well. Like I said, I was blown away by how well this thing climbed. Now, descending is not its strong suit in its current form. If you get some tubeless tires on here, it's going to make a world of difference. Next up, get that fork. It's going to be a huge difference again, especially when you upgrade the brakes also. Those three things can turn this bike into something super capable. Now, I found myself really just having a lot of fun on this bike even. It was really surprising how well it climbed. I know I keep coming back to that. I don't know if there's anything else to say. Except for, this is MTB Rad Dad sign off. I'll see you next time.